Ladies and gentlemen, in the ring at this time, please welcome superstar grime recording artist Stormzy as he brings to the ring
from home from him, and he looks very relaxed. Yes, he's walked this way before a few times, Fletch.
London, are you ready for me? Olympic gold. 13 wins. 13 devastating knockouts.
From Watford, England, the undefeated AJ Anthony Joshua!
On Netflix, to those of you joining us right here in Texas. Are you ready to make history? Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, silver and chrome trunks. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 227.2 pounds. He holds a near perfect professional record of 10 victories, 1 defeat, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. He is the multi-talented superstar who bridged the gap between social media and professional boxing. Boxer, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a promoter, and the self-proclaimed of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the problem child, Jake El Gallo Paul.
Under the blinding lights of a packed arena, two forces from opposite ends of the boxing spectrum prepare to collide. Anthony Joshua, the disciplined heavyweight icon whose fists carry the weight of legacy, faces Jake Paul, the brash internet maverick who has rewritten the rules of what it means to be a modern fighter. This isn't just a match, it's the meeting of raw, proven power and unrelenting ambition. Joshua stands as the embodiment of traditional greatness, forged through years of championship battles and redemption. Across the ring, Jake Paul enters with the swagger of a disruptor, driven by a mission to defy expectations and silence doubters once more. The energy in the arena is explosive. Fans from every generation feel the charge as two completely different worlds, boxing's old guard and the digital age's fearless newcomer, converge under the same lights. Every movement, every stare between them carries weight. One perfectly timed strike could turn history on its head. Welcome back, fight fans. Today, we dive deep into one of the most unbelievable matchups shaking the sport, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. A two-time unified heavyweight champion against one of the internet's most polarizing, yet undeniably successful, modern prizefighters. Could this spectacle truly happen? And if it did, who would walk away victorious? Let's break it down. Anthony Joshua's career reads like a masterclass in boxing excellence. An Olympic gold medalist and former unified world champion, Joshua has stood toe-to-toe with the best of his generation. His knockout of Vladimir Klitschko before 90,000 roaring fans at Wembley remains one of the defining moments of modern heavyweight history. Then came redemption, his composed, tactical victory over Andy Ruiz Jr. after a stunning upset months earlier. Add to that his victories over Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, and Kubrat Pulev, and you have a fighter who represents both skill and resilience. Joshua isn't merely an athlete. He's a symbol of composure under fire, a man whose power and discipline have shaped his identity inside and outside the ring. Jake Paul's rise, on the other hand, is unlike anything boxing has seen. From viral pranks to global pay-per-view headlines, he's transformed from an internet curiosity into a legitimate contender with a loyal following. In just 9 professional bouts, his lone loss coming to Tommy Fury, Jake has proven he's more than an entertainer. With a precise right hand, improved timing, and unwavering belief, he's forced even the harshest critics to pay attention. Those who laughed at first were silenced by brutal knockouts of Tyron Woodley, a composed victory over Anderson Silva, and decisive wins against Ben Askren and Nate Diaz. Sure, skeptics argue his resume lacks elite names, but few can question his discipline, business savvy, or his uncanny ability to turn fights into global events. Jake Paul knows the spectacle, but he also knows the grind. Whether fans love him or hate him, he's mastered the art of staying relevant, dangerous, and unpredictable. So why would Anthony Joshua, a seasoned heavyweight champion, even consider this crossover? The answer lies where boxing and entertainment often meet: massive money and global attention. Reports suggest that Saudi promoters have expressed real interest. Jake Paul's team has already said yes, and Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has left the door open. A matchup like this could sell out Wembley Stadium in hours and shatter global streaming records, even without a belt on the line. But for Joshua, this fight would mean more than a financial spectacle. It's about reclaiming dominance and reminding the world what true heavyweight boxing looks like. After his shocking loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019, many believed his reign was over. Instead, Joshua returned stronger, sharper, and more calculated, proving that champions aren't defined by setbacks but by how they respond to them. His unforgettable war with Klitschko, where he was knocked down and still came back to win, remains a testament to that spirit. For Jake Paul, stepping into the ring with Joshua would mark the biggest leap of his career, a jump from facing smaller, experienced names to entering the lion's den of heavyweight boxing. Yet if there's one constant in Jake's story, it's his refusal to back down when the odds seem impossible. His knockout of Woodley remains one of boxing's most replayed highlights, and his performance against Silva showed not just power, but patience and tactical awareness. With every bout, Jake Paul has built a case that he's not just an outsider testing limits. He's a fighter forging his own unlikely legacy, one punch at a time. Each victory added a new layer to Jake Paul's story, proof that he possessed more grit and determination than most were willing to admit. And when talk of facing Anthony Joshua surfaced, the stakes shot through the roof. For Joshua, this wasn't just another payday. It was about reclaiming his identity as the face of heavyweight boxing, erasing doubts and restoring balance between legacy and spectacle. For Jake, it was a chance to shock the world once again, to trade viral fame for a seat at boxing's highest table by challenging a former world champion at his own game. Their training camps told two completely different stories. Joshua went back to his roots, sharpening the fundamentals that once made him untouchable: the stiff jab, the devastating uppercut, the footwork of a champion. Surrounded by elite heavyweights, he rebuilt his rhythm, focus, and hunger to dominate the division once more. Jake Paul, meanwhile, entered uncharted waters. He sparred with bigger opponents, pushed his conditioning to new limits, and doubled down on the weapon that made him famous, that overhand right, the same one that flattened Tyron Woodley and humbled Anderson Silva. But let's be honest, the physical gap was enormous. Joshua, a natural 240-pound Olympic powerhouse, towered over Paul, who fights closer to 190. The difference in size, experience, and power was staggering. Joshua had gone toe-to-toe with the best heavyweights alive. Jake had never faced anyone beyond cruiserweight. On paper, Joshua's jab alone could dominate every second. But boxing isn't fought on paper, it's written in moments. And Jake Paul has built his entire career on defying the odds. He's strong, explosive, and mentally unshakable. One clean shot could still flip the script. Fight night arrived, and the arena pulsed with electricity. Two worlds collided, traditional boxing loyalists chanting Joshua's name and millions of Jake Paul fans roaring in defiance. Olympic gold versus YouTube gold. Legacy versus disruption. The opening rounds were tense and tactical. Joshua controlled the range, snapping his jab and dictating the pace. Jake, patient but daring, hunted for openings, looking to unleash that looping right hand that made him a global headline. Each time he connected, the crowd erupted, but Joshua's composure never broke. Every step, every slip, every counter reminded the world, this man is a master of the ring. As the rounds wore on, Joshua turned up the pressure. Hooks, uppercuts, and body shots ripped through Jake's guard, forcing him onto the ropes. The punishment piled up, but Jake refused to retreat. He fought back with heart, earning the respect of fans who once called him a fraud. By round 7, the difference between contender and champion was crystal clear. Joshua rocked Paul with a right hand, then unleashed a barrage of combinations that left Jake wobbling. His toughness kept him upright, but the momentum was gone. Joshua's timing and precision were surgical. And in the 9th, the inevitable happened. A thunderous uppercut, a mirror image of the one that ended Klitschko's reign, exploded through Jake's guard. Paul crashed to the canvas. The referee's count echoed through a stunned arena. Jake couldn't beat it. Anthony Joshua wins by TKO, a statement victory that reminded the world why he remains one of the most feared heavyweights on the planet. But this night was more than a win. It was validation. For Joshua, a return to glory. For Jake Paul, a loss that strangely elevated him, proof of courage, grit, and the heart to face the fire. This wasn't just a fight. It was a cultural moment, the fusion of legacy and spectacle, of tradition and evolution. And as the lights dimmed and the crowd roared, one truth stood tall: boxing's story is far from over. Bigger battles, bolder matchups, and new rivalries await. Stay tuned, because the next chapter might just top this one.